Brightline has been a cornerstone of regional mobility since its first operation, earning the trust of thousands. But today it's making headlines for something truly mind-blowing. A major announcement has just dropped about its system, and it's sparking curiosity everywhere. What could this mean for commuters, travelers, and the future of rail? Is Brightline about to change the game once again? In this episode of Great Trainspeed, we're diving deep into the story behind the buzz. Get ready to explore the innovation, ambition, and surprise that Brightline just unleashed. By September 2025, Brightline entered one of the most transformative phases of its Florida operations. The company was preparing for a major network redesign scheduled for October 6th, a change that shifted more capacity toward high-demand periods and reshaped the balance between long-distance and short-distance markets. To make room for these changes, Brightline intentionally reduced its overall departure schedule during September, resulting in a 13% year-over-year decline in train departures. This short-term adjustment set the foundation for a more efficient, demand-aligned network. Yet, even with fewer trains running, ridership told a different story. September 2025 recorded 227,851 passengers, a figure that represents an 11% increase compared to the previous year. Long-distance ridership climbed 8%, while short-distance ridership saw a strong 15% jump. The most telling indicator was the rise in repeat ridership, which made up 63% of total long-distance travel. This behavior reflects a corridor that is transitioning from novelty to routine travel, something that mirrors the patterns found in established high-speed markets across Europe and Asia. Revenue followed the same upward trajectory. September generated $15.9 million, which represents a 13% increase year over year. Long-distance ticket revenue surged 16%, short-distance revenue rose 7%, and ancillary services, such as food, beverage, and mobility options, posted a 7% gain. Fare performance strengthened as well, with premium fares increasing 25% and smart fares growing 6%. These shifts show a maturing market with rising demand for both value-oriented and higher-end travel. With a leaner schedule, stronger ridership, and higher revenue, Brightline entered October with solid momentum behind its system-wide realignment. These gains set the stage for a bigger question. How is Brightline building a long-term customer base to sustain this growth throughout the years ahead? We're about to dive into that in the next part of the video, and if you're enjoying this journey, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an update. Everything happening in the world of trains is right here, waiting for you to be discovered. The foundation of Brightline's growth lies in its increasingly loyal passenger base, which is gradually transforming the service from a novelty into a daily habit for thousands of Floridians. After pausing commuter passes in May 2024 to free up capacity for long-distance service during the initial Orlando ramp-up, the company brought the product back in May 2025 once more rolling stock and schedules were in place. The response was almost immediate. Pass holders grew from about 560 in May to 890 by the end of September, while monthly commuter rides climbed from 8,900 to 17,600 over the same period. That is nearly a doubling of commuter usage in just a few months. With 56% of pass holders enrolled in auto-renewal, Brightline is not simply selling tickets. It is building predictable, recurring travel patterns that can bring the commuter segment back toward its historic level of 30,000 to 40,000 monthly rides. This loyalty story extends beyond commuters. Brightline Rewards, the company's broader membership program, continued to expand at a similar pace. Total membership reached more than 371,000 people, with around 49,000 joining in September alone, a sign that awareness and engagement are still growing. Roughly 11,000 members redeemed points during the month, which suggests that passengers are not just signing up, but actively using the program. Florida residents remain the backbone of the system and represent 88% of all ridership, reflecting Brightline's role as both a regional connector and a state-focused mobility service. Within this base, long-distance repeat riders totaled 88,324 in September. That level of repeat travel forms a stable core of demand across the year and gives Brightline more confidence when planning capacity, pricing, and service levels on its flagship Orlando South Florida corridor. On the distribution side, the company is preparing for a major shift that could open the door to a wider audience. At the moment, only 6% of total bookings come through third-party channels such as travel agencies and airline-linked platforms, mainly because of limited integration with global distribution systems. This situation is likely to change with the newly executed agreement with Amadeus, the world's largest GDS. Once the technical work is complete, Brightline will appear in the same booking environments that airlines, cruise operators, tour companies, and corporate travel managers already use every day. For a state that relies heavily on tourism and convention travel, this expanded visibility has the potential to significantly increase long-distance bookings, particularly among visitors who are planning trips to Orlando and might otherwise default to rental cars or domestic flights. Taken together, these trends point to a network that is increasingly supported by loyal, repeat customers at home and is on the verge of becoming far more visible to travelers from around the country and the world as more riders join the system. And as demand patterns become clearer and more consistent, the key question now is how Brightline will reshape its service to match this new ridership profile and make the most of the momentum it has built. The most significant milestone of the fall season came on October 6, when Brightline launched a redesigned dual network aimed at matching seat supply with actual demand patterns. After reviewing system-wide data, management found that roughly 1/4 of all trains, typically very early or very late departures, consistently operated with low occupancy. The new plan reallocates this capacity to times when ridership is strongest. First, South Florida now operates as a high-frequency core of the system, providing 36 short-distance departures each day and offering trains approximately every 30 minutes during peak periods. Within this structure, 16 departures are dedicated exclusively to short-distance markets, creating a consistent and reliable service pattern for regional travelers. The network supplies 4,450 short-distance seats daily, not including the capacity offered by long-distance trains, and Boca Raton benefits from expanded service that now places the station on roughly 80% of all South Florida departures. This design supports commuters and regional passengers while making Brightline a more practical option for everyday mobility. Farther north on the long-distance Orlando corridor, Brightline currently provides 20 daily departures between Orlando and South Florida. These trains operate with 9 car sets today, with 10 car formations scheduled to arrive by the end of the year. Altogether, the corridor now offers 10,414 seats each day, a total that is nearly double the amount available at the same time last year. Complementing these upgrades, Brightline introduced new premium class benefits on October 8th, which include priority boarding, priority queuing, and enhanced checked bag allowances. 5 new premium cars joined the fleet in early October, and another 5 are expected by year's end, a delivery that will double premium capacity compared to the third quarter. By separating high-frequency regional service from longer intercity operations, Brightline's dual network represents a significant advancement toward a more efficient, scalable, and commuter-friendly rail system across Florida. Now that Brightline has finally aligned its capacity with real rider demand, do you think this is the right moment to pivot toward long-term expansion? Drop 1 if you believe the timing is right, and 0 if you see it differently. Beyond daily operations, Brightline is advancing several large-scale infrastructure and financial initiatives that will shape its long-term growth. The planned station in Stuart has been progressing through local and federal review since its announcement in March 2024. Martin County committed up to $15 million toward the project and is pursuing federal assistance through the Federal State Partnership Program. Although USDOT withdrew the original NOFO on September 22, 2025, a revised one was issued on October 3rd. Brightline and Martin County are preparing a new application, expected before January 7, 2026. The Cocoa Station is moving forward along a similar path. The City of Cocoa and the Space Coast TPO had previously submitted a $47.2 million grant request, and like Stuart, they are preparing a revised application, an MOU, signed in July 2025, established alignment on design, layout, parking, and coordination. Once completed, the station will serve as a key connection point for the Space Coast, Orlando, and future western extensions. With new stations advancing, a strong revenue base, a redesigned network, and long-distance demand still growing, Brightline is entering a new stage where operational improvements and statewide expansion aligned to create a more connected, modern rail system for Florida. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.